Hello, guys, and welcome back to an episode of Spooky Gals. I am joined today with Derek Dillon of Dead Things. Hi, Derek. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So, our co-host Katrina unfortunately seems to be a bit tied up today, but hopefully she'll join us in a little bit. But until then, I thought we would just get started with just the basics. So why don't you just give us a bit of a background on you and your band Dead Things, and really anything which inspired you guys to get together?
Sure. So I am the front man in a weird metal band called Dead Things, and I also own a clothing brand with the singer of Ice Nine Kills. Me and Spencer. Spencer's been my best friend since I was a senior in high school, and I was a promoter in high school, and I got an opportunity to book Ice Nine Kills, and me and Spencer were basically thick as thieves ever since. Cleaver was started back in 2011, and I've been around the block quite a few times. Anything horror or metal is something I'm married to, and everything else is the mistress.
Hope your wife didn't hear that one.
She
So
probably did. She's lurking around here somewhere.
oh goodness me. Okay, yeah. So you and Spencer, of course, are united under the umbrella of horror and Cleaver and all things that go bump in the night. So when was it that you became interested in the world of horror and in this sort of more macabre
I
side of
think
things, rather?
I think my upbringing definitely played a huge role in that. Um, it was kind of just a path that I don't think I really had a choice in the matter. Some of my earliest memories are watching movies like Child's Play, Doctor Get, like some really obscure slasher movies with my grandmother in a creepy house in upstate New York, where there was a so years and years ago, back at a distant time that we call the 1990s. Um, she lives in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. It's a town called Hobart, maybe 750 living people there.
Living.
Satellite TV would always go out, but there was one video rental store in town, and the only thing they really had a selection of was horror movies. So most of my early memories with my grandparents are watching really twisted movies that children shouldn't be watching. Even like, wouldn't consider it a horror movie, but Dark Crystal, the Jim Henson film, with the puppets, the Gelflings, the Skeksis, like that is not a kids movie, but that's the type of stuff I'd watch with my grandmother. And I would say from the age of 3 or 4, that was kind of just the type of stuff I consumed. The first time I stayed up and pulled an all-nighter when I was like 5 or 6, I was watching movies like Night of the Living Dead and Carrie.
Oh, good old Carrie. Okay, wait. So you've got some pretty fucking cool grandparents in that case. That's quite hardcore of them to like let
Yes.
their kid watch all those films with them. I mean, on the subject of like the creepy puppets of like those 80s films, I remember being petrified of Labyrinth, that film with David Bowie in it. Don't know if you've seen that
I
one.
didn't watch that until much later in life. I feel like if I watched it as a kid, I probably would have been a bigger Bowie fan. Like
Mhm.
now, I love Bowie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, I just didn't give it a fair chance when I was young.
I mean, it's completely all to do with how you're raised and like what you're raised on. Like my parents, massive Bowie fans. They're both massive Madonna fans and massive Bowie fans. So I had quite a even childhood in that sense. But I mean, yeah, I can definitely empathize with watching too many horror films as a kid. But like,
That
so
messes you up.
sorry.
That will mess you up.
I mean, it either messes you up or it kind of gives you some interesting creative ideas, bit of both perhaps. My sister has she had, when she was 14, had a weird obsession with Saw. That was weird. That was quite disturbing.
Did
She
she
would lie
make
in,
traps for everybody in the house and say,
I
live or
mean,
die?
I was always paranoid because like I was into like because I was always more into like the supernatural horror films. I think I was about 12 when I watched The Grudge for the first time, and that shat me up and I loved it. And so I was into the more like ghosts and zombies and vampires, and she was just into these like straight up torture porn things. Age of 14, watching Saw, like lying in a school uniform, watching TV, doing her homework, watching Saw, straight face, like almost like she was studying it, and I was quite scared of her. Did you have any siblings growing up or anything?
Yeah, I have two younger siblings,
Mm.
um, and they couldn't be any more opposite of of me. My youngest brother, he's a college boy.
Oh.
He's graduating college. I think he's going for like some doctor dermatology, and then I have my other brother that I also do real estate, so that we're flipping a house in Indiana, and I got my other brother living there managing the projects that we got going on there. But I'm the only one that came out a little weird. They're
I
pretty
mean,
normal.
did they not have the favorable film nights with the grandparents then?
So I mean, a lot of that was before they were born, is when
Mm.
that kind of started happening for me. My not the youngest brother, the middle brother, he covered his eyes during horror movies, and I sat there with wide open
Ooh.
pupils, just going ooh. But I was
Oh.
always into more of like slasher movies.
Mhm.
Um, I think even today, it's like if I watch a really scary movie, it's like, and it's scaring me, it's like that's fucked up. But the slasher movies, I like getting behind like the ridiculous kills. Like you watch a movie like Hatchet, people are getting split in half, or
Mm.
their face sanded off with a belt sander. It's like the creative, over the top kills is what really attracted me to the genre.
I think I know I completely agree. And also, sorry, I think to me, what I've always liked about slasher films is so you have those horror films, which are the more like psycho thriller films, which are the more realistic kind of home invasion sort of murders, the more realistic kind of murdering, I guess. And then you just have these ridiculous, campy B movie sort of like none of this stuff you could really imagine happening in real life, but it's also not supernatural. So there is that element of it could though, but it's so
Yes.
far from reality that you're not like oh my god he's gonna come for me in the middle of the night. So yeah, I empathize with that one.
I think Scream is the exception to the rule, though.
Yes, well I mean that's kind of the exception to every rule, I feel, because that basically
It
established the unspoken
single-handedly,
rules, right?
yeah, I believe that Scream single-handedly revived the entire genre.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact about the house that they filmed Scream in, Stu Macher's house. Me and Spencer actually got to sleep there at the house where they filmed the movie. Yeah, so they did an event called Scream Comes Home, where a couple of organizers convinced the people that own the house where they filmed Scream to let them throw a party there, basically, and we got to sleep there for 2 days.
2 days.
2 days, and we've been back to the house a couple of times because now we've developed relationships with the owners of the house.
It's basically your second house. It's the summer
I
home.
wish. It's
Bring
very
the
far
kids.
away, but
I mean,
I have
worth the
so
trip.
much love for Scream, and the fact that, like, and when I watched the most recent Scream movie, they filmed in the house again, and it was so cool to know every inch of the house, and I
It's
just have a
amazing.
lot of love for
Yeah.
Scream, and
I know that you,
that's a slasher movie that could be real.
yes, it is. But I know that you and Spencer are like the biggest Scream fanboys that there are. You know,
Yeah,
there's Cleaver merch, there's Ice Nine Kills merch. It's just, we are
we're
dripping in
obsessed.
merch. Yes. Oh, and I very, very much approve of that. I'm very jealous as well because Scream has not come out in Hong Kong because
Oh, you better get that on bootleg.
You know how frustrated I am. So it was meant to come out the next day. And then the police announced the closure of all cinemas until further notice. Yes, the day before. It was on my calendar. I'd had this big party planned with my friends at our favorite bar. We were going to have like a big screening of it. Nope, cannot. So I do have my little ghost face here with me.
Spencer actually rented out an entire theater for us to go see Scream. We went with a bunch of people. Spencer rented out like the whole screening room. And then after the movie, this is what's you could go onto the Cleaver Clothing Twitter and verify this fact. We ran into Billy Loomis, Skeet himself.
I saw.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
and half the cast from Scream 5 was at the same theater as us. There are thousands of movie theaters in Los Angeles, and Billy Loomis chose to go to the same one at the same time as us.
Serendipity.
I know.
My good sir. That's incredible. Fucking hell. No, I am insanely jealous. And yeah, I agree. Scream was definitely like, I think the horror film of the 90s. So again, back to our topic before about like the horror films which we're raised watching. So for me, so I was born in the mid 90s. So I was always the films that I was around were the more like early 2000s kind of slasher horror sort of hybrid. Again, these sorts of paranormal slashers, a bit like The Grudge, where they just kill everyone, but it's a big scary ghost. But Scream is, I think, the only sort of modern classic horror film which tracks with like people who are like my age and even younger. Even my sister, again, the weird soul sister, even she loves Scream. But now here is a question for you, which I just thought of. You know, the scary movie films, like the spoof films, right? They say that like that really cheapened the film and made it less scary. Would you agree?
To a degree, yes. I do have some level of love for the first scary movie. Like I thought if it was a one and done thing, you know, it's okay to take cheap shots once in a while, but the fact that it became a franchise, I think over time did cheapen things.
Yeah, I mean, it's always that thing where, you know, how much is too much and how much is not enough. And I think because I remember really, I think I might have even watched Scary Movie before I watched Scream. And again, that was really interesting to me, like watching all, because there was that massive like spoof boom in like the like mid 2000s. I think there was like Date Movie and Scary Movie and all of these spoof movies. And I remember like, again, as I grew up and I watched and I kind of widened my horror repertoire, and I was like, oh, are they parodying that movie? Oh, okay, that's interesting. And I guess it did kind of like take away the scary aspect, but at the same time, I never found Scream to be scary. I just found it really, that kind of meta aspect I thought was so different and so unique. And it was more like
I love the pace of it.
Yes, precisely.
It's got a good pace.
You can watch it like many times in a row and that will never fail. I mean, and again, I'll put my hands up. I am a Scream 4 fan. I do like Scream 4.
I love the intro in it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, precisely. Again, and that feeds right back into the whole self-aware canon of Scream. But there was a lot of hate for Scream 4, and that always makes me very, very sad. But yeah, I cannot wait to see Scream 5. I
think you'll like it. I personally give it about a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. What's your favorite?
I thought it was really good. I think it stayed pretty true to what they set out to do in the first film. And you know, you mentioned Scary Movie. You know, my wife, she too saw Scary Movie before seeing Scream, and she literally thought that Doofy was Dewey.
Yes. Yes, right. Even now when I talk about it, sometimes I say Doofy and they're like, Jazz, you're kind of confusing your spoof and your real film. It just gets so in your head. It does get in your head like that. It's clever. It is clever. Wait, so what's your favorite Scream film out of all 5?
First one.
Classic.
Yeah, first one.
Classic. Yeah.
I think it's so tight, and you know, it's just a very slick, clean. Like it stayed true to like slasher psychology as well as like a pure horror psychology. You know, it's just really the perfect recipe for like, you know, that movie itself basically was the first mass appeal horror film like in the 90s. Like the genre was almost dead. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies were doing some really weird shit.
Yeah. I must say I'm a massive Freddy versus Jason fan. I love that movie.
Oh, I love that one too.
My favorite, but
I think
yeah,
that was the one to
2003
revive
though.
both of them.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, you see, 90s horror films. Though, it wasn't quite as big then, was it? No, it was. There was
only Scream.
That's true. Because Sleepaway Camp was 80s still.
I love Sleepaway Camp.
I love that one. Oh, I watched that again recently, and I've got this amazing gift where I have the worst memory in the fucking world. So
I have the same gift.
Right. It's great. You get to watch the same film again and again for the first time. It's wonderful. And I remember watching it and I was like, wait a second. Was that actually her sister? Were they the sisters together? Is that what it was? And I was trying to remember. And at the end of it, I was like, oh wait, that's right. It was that film. It was the penis movie.
Have you seen Pam and Tommy?
I have not.
Do you have Hulu access where you're at in the world?
I don't, but I do have the wonders of fmovies.ps, which I definitely do not use to illegally pirate movies.
Right. Of course
wink,
not.
Wink. But what's it called? Sorry,
Pam and Tommy. It's about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue.
Oh.
And about the tape.
Why haven't I seen that? That sounds like something that my dad would have shown me.
Yeah, I was making fun of the billboards in LA. It took me a while to realize that it was Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. I said some I don't remember where I was going, but I was in the car with my wife and I saw the billboard. I was like, "Oh, look, it's Sam Winchester."
Oh my god, Jad Padalecki. I am a massive Supernatural. Oh, I wish Katrina were here. Oh my god.
I actually, fun fact about Dead Things, we lay a Supernatural Easter egg in every single song.
Okay, now I need to go in the lyrics or in the videos?
Sometimes both. And we did so this was a really weird mashup that we did. Have you seen Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix?
Yes.
So they did a song to promote part 3 called Straight to Hell. And I heard the song, I was like, I gotta cover this thing. So we ended up covering it, but there's a part in the song where I wanted an exorcism added, and I had Sam Winchester a soundbite as the exorcism. So if you go and listen to the end of our Straight to Hell song, there's Sam Winchester's actual voice on there, which I hope I don't get hit with a copyright claim at some point. But we tried to edit it a little bit.
That is so fucking cool. How did I've listened to that song so many times.
And then in the song we just came out with a couple of days ago, Mouth Sewn Shut, the first line was pretty much something I stole from something Dean said. Now I got to think of our friggin' lyrics. I am the sound that goes bump in the night was basically a reference to Dean Winchester killing things that go bump in the night.
Saving people, hunting
every song we try and
oh
and we're actually working on a song that's entirely an homage to Supernatural. I don't know if I'll ever publicly come out and say these things. I like to let people wonder. But I think
I can cut that bit out if you like. I don't want to.
No, it's okay. You know, your listeners here, you know, then they're Supernatural fans. You know, it might be cool for some people. I don't like going over the top and saying this song is a reference to this. I like letting people make up the meanings to the songs.
Yeah.
But we're doing a song. The working title is either God is a Dick or God is Dead. And it's basically going to be
like
the
Dick
story
Roman, right?
Yeah, it's basically going to be the story of Sam and Dean killing God.
Good old Chuck Shirley. Good old Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So this is fucking. So Katrina and I have been massive Supernatural fans forever. So that's fucking insane that like you're also a huge fan. Like I've got all the box set DVDs. None of them work anymore, but I just have them kind of hoarded in my little cave with me just to look at and observe.
Supernatural and Dexter are like my two jams that
Yes.
I can
Did you
watch
watch the new
over and over
season?
and over.
Did you watch the new season of Dexter?
I loved it.
I really liked it.
It's like I wish it didn't end. Like I don't know if anybody listening to this hasn't
It's
watched it or
fine.
has planned. Oh,
You can
so I can
spoil
spoil
away.
it?
They should have watched it by now. I mean, guys, it's been a month. Grow up.
You're damn right. They should have. They should have not killed Dexter. Like I'm a
I
little upset. Like I wanted to see them kill together.
So this is my thing. Thank you. So I'm getting very excited now because I've been waiting for someone to talk to about this with. Because my mother, I watched it with my mum. We watched it in one day together, and
Talk
we
about
turned.
it.
Literally, we just sat there on the sofa with the cat with like a bag of crisps, like we can't stop, and it finished, and she turned it off, and she was like, "Well, that's kind of how it had to end, didn't it?" No,
That's
it
what my
fucking
wife
didn't.
said. Yeah.
It did not have to end. Like, okay, so for me, I actually thought that they were building up for Harrison to go rogue. I thought he was going to become this like psychotic killer who would then vanish and Dexter would have to hunt him. That's what I thought.
I was hoping Dexter would kill him, honestly.
Yes, because and I understand that it's the whole like the redemption and the sins of the father trope. I get that, but it was a little bit on the nose. I still loved it, but it was a little bit like you're not really going to have him kill him, are you? Are you really going to, like, after it was just kind of almost made plain that Harrison has these homicidal urges with no remorse. Like I found it strange how they had him go from being like, yeah, I slashed my friend across the thigh with a straight razor and was chill about it, telling everyone that he was a hero, to being like, oh no, this is wrong. I can't be in the room when father kills this evil man who murdered like 50 women. I thought it was a bit of a weird like turnaround. And yeah, I was really hoping, I was hoping that they would reveal it earlier on, like that he would reveal himself to Harrison earlier on, that we'd have more time with them again, like the father-son duo, you know?
Or just allow the show to them to get away, have Batista on their tail, follow them to California.
That would have been fucking.
There could have been more. And also, fun fact, at the horror convention that we did this past weekend, we got to meet James Raymer, Dexter's daddy, Harry.
Harry.
Yeah. So me and my wife were like, "Oh, we got to go meet Harry." So we're like going up to meet him, and it's like sometimes like me and Spencer have met some really passionate people that like what we do, and I always, anytime I'm meeting with somebody who's got a level of notoriety, I try not to be like on top of them, and like I just don't want to punish them, and I also don't want to embarrass myself. I prefer to meet these people in like other scenarios
organically,
so that way I don't come off too intense. So all I said to the guy was like, I'm a huge fan, and he looked at me with a straight face. He's like, and I'm a big air conditioner.
I'm sorry. Talk about a fucking dad joke. My God, Dad Harry. That's
yeah. But he did write on a picture of
pretty
him.
Good though.
Follow the code. I'm like, I'm gonna change this.
Just like crying tears. Oh, that
on
is
the
so
inside.
Special. And on the outside. No, I am the worst when it comes to that kind of thing. When I was 12 years old, I met My Chemical Romance. I was the biggest MCR fan. I was like fully decked out. I had MCR gloves, MCR shirt, MCR hat. I was ready. And I just cried the entire time. It was really glamorous. So crying on the inside, good job. Well done.
I think if I met Kiss, I would probably cry on the outside.
Gene Simmons. King.
Gene and Paul are like everything. And Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl would probably, like, those are probably the only three people I'd be starstruck by.
Yeah. I mean, we can add them. I think they can join the ranks of Ronnie and Corey. I reckon. I reckon they could
Oh,
go up there
Kiss has
too.
been around since the 70s, though.
How old is Gene Simmons now?
He's got to be in his 70s.
I swear. I mean, I feel like he's been in his 70s for like 20 years. It's
It was the facelift that made him look like that.
oh dear.
But I watched last year on New Year's Eve. Kiss did a concert in Dubai. I didn't go. There was nobody in the crowd. It was a pay-per-view that they did, and they literally played just facing some big ass hotel in Dubai. But
Okay.
like they're all old as dirt, and they're like Paul Stanley. His body is incredible for his age. Like him being able to sing, play for 2 hours, like at that age, and wear 70 pounds of gear.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah. I mean, I bet like those camera angles and that lighting better have been forgiving because, like you said,
No, by
they're
the end of the
getting on.
set, he looked he looked really weird. You know, when the makeup
Just like,
starts to wear towards the end of the show.
ooh, yum.
There's some
That
like
sounds.
crying clown Italian opera that I think is called like Pagliacci or something.
Yes.
That's what he looked like.
No, that reminds me of what was it called? Did you ever watch Repo, the genetic opera? It's like a musical horror movie. It's
No.
great. It's fucking great. And that reminds me, there's this like clown guy called, is it Paggi, who has like half of a face that's a mask and it always changes. It's really cool. If you haven't seen it, it is really fun. Repo, the genetic opera. It's got Giles in it from Buffy. REPO.
Anthony Stewart Head.
Yes, Anthony Stewart Head, who is incredible and got the most amazing voice. Really, really. I mean, I remembered that he did have one from that one amazing Buffy episode, which is still the best thing ever on TV. But he has like proper full songs in this movie. So check it out. It's a good one.
He seemed like a Renaissance man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Man of many,
Buffy,
many
like I
talents.
would watch that every day before I went to school. Every single day.
That episode or just Buffy in general?
Just Buffy. Sarah Michelle Gellar was my first love.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, for me, it was Faith. Faith and Cordelia. I've always...
Oh, loved Cordelia.
I know. Just like hit me in the face, please. I mean, just
yeah.
Please. I remember, what was it? My dad got me Buffy. I still again have my box set. He bought it for me when I was 9. Because like again, very supportive parents. So they always wonder, like, how did Jasmine turn out to be this little goth weirdo? It's your fault. It's their fault. And yeah, I was massively into that as well. I was actually talking to my friend the other day. He's raising his daughter on Buffy, and he sends me like updates every now and then with like pictures of her
doing
face.
It right.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. He just showed her the episode, The Pack, where Xander becomes a hyena man, basically. From that's I think that is season 1, and he was like, Xander was just mean to Willow, and dude, Scarlet is pissed, and I was like, as she should be, as she should be. Willow is queen. God, that was a fun episode.
I think between like shows like Buffy and like the weird horror movies I watched, then I stumbled into rock and roll when I was like really young. The first CD I ever bought though was Limp Bizkit, and then I got really into Kiss and Meatloaf and Sonny and Cher.
Meatloaf, that was so sad when
I was gutted when I heard about it. I have Bad Out of Hell on vinyl. Meatloaf is actually the artist that made me decide I wanted to be a musician when I was a like really young kid.
That was one of my questions. There we go. We got
there.
Nice. Okay.
I absolutely have such a love for Meatloaf's music, and there's a theme park in Pennsylvania called Hershey, Pennsylvania, Hershey's theme park.
That sounds delicious.
The chocolate company, they got a theme park. They had like a stadium there, and then like all the people that perform at the stadium, they kind of do like concrete handprints on it. And I just remember it was probably like 7 or 8. I saw Meatloaf's handprint and put my little hands in there. It was like, give me your powers.
Oh my God. No, I mean, so so your favorite artist as a kid, Meatloaf was up there, and Kiss.
Um,
Anyone else who like inspired you in that vein of like theatrical horror rock kind of angle?
so I think why I loved Kiss, and it's probably the same reason why I liked Meatloaf, and why I like the band Ghost now, is like all the
Love
imagery
Ghost.
and packaging, is very striking. It's, it will get your attention, and then like you see a band that looks like Kiss, and then they play a disco song like "I Was Made for Loving You." It's like, holy crap! And then you watch Ghost, and it's like, holy crap! I didn't expect them to set, like, you expect to hear like a black metal band or something, and then like Meatloaf, the Bad Out of Hell like album art, you're expecting to hear some real evil shit, and then it's like 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Paradise by the
Oh,
Dashboard Lights. It's like, and
yeah.
that always kind of drew me in. So
Subverting
and Elvis.
expectations. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I also have a massive love for these sorts of like operatic sounds. I'm a massive, massive theater nerd as well. And I was gonna say actually, I don't know if you've heard of the Bat Out of Hell musical. Now, usually I'm not really into jukebox musicals, but this one was truly the best thing I've ever seen on a stage. And it played in London. I think it actually played, it
They
did
just
tour in
play
the
the
US.
album in its entirety.
Yeah, so it was the album, and it was also just like various other like Steinman songs as well. And it was, like, you need to look it up on YouTube. Just the arrangements that they did and the staging was just stunning. And they have these like full on like dance numbers as well. And there was their version of 2 out of 3 is one of my favorite vocal performances ever. So I definitely recommend that if you're looking to like lose yourself in YouTube for a few hours. There are
Yeah,
clips
I
out there.
might actually have to do that, but it
Yeah.
might end up making me cry.
Oh yeah. No, it was like, because I really had not much like, because my parents again have great taste in music, as do you clearly, because they were like, okay, we have to go and see the Meatloaf musical in London. And I was like, that sounds a bit cheesy. And they were like, no, 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 I think it's going to be good, and even if it's cheesy, it'll be fun. So I was like, okay, okay. So we went there after my graduation. And I was again not expecting much, and it blew me the fuck away. So definitely check it out if you're a Meatloaf fan.
I am probably going to do that right after I get
Yeah.
off this podcast with you.
Good, good. There was, what else was I going to say? So, oh yes, I was going to say, so on this podcast, usually what we do is we discuss like a creepy historical story or something which happened to our listeners as kids or to us as kids, which kind of made you either believe in the paranormal or was just kind of like a something which stuck with you. So I was wondering if there was anything like from like your childhood or any sort of event growing up which kind of stands out to you as like a paranormal experience of note.
Yes. So probably there's a couple of things worth noting there. I mentioned my childhood going to visit. Like, I'm from Long Island, New York, but I spent my childhood going up to my grandmother's house in the summer. Sorry, my phone is
Oh, no, 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 please do not
coming through
worry.
my computer.
These things are all connected these
So
days.
I had mentioned that I would go visit my grandmother in the summer in the middle of nowhere upstate. My dad ended up purchasing a multifamily home a couple of blocks away from her, and that home was built in the 1800s, early 1800s. And what we come to find out, as my dad had the house for a period of time, my grandfather ended up finding a tombstone buried in the backyard. Yeah, and that guy was buried in like 1855 or 1865. The guy's name was Nicholas Brando, and my
It's a cool
grandpa
name.
moved the friggin' tombstone, which was a bad, definitely not a good.
No,
Yeah.
no, grandpa, no.
So
Oh
that
no.
was a big no no,
Oh
and
no.
And I don't remember because I was kind of young when this happened, but I think they were trying to figure out why there was a tombstone, so they went to like the historical society of the town. And come to find out, in like the 1820s or 30s to like the 1880s, the house my dad bought was a funeral home.
Well then,
And
that's lovely, isn't it?
yeah,
That's
they
lovely.
had a cremation chamber, so it was like a really big house that they turned into a three-family house. It went from being a funeral home to a three-family house, and also 8 acres of mountain. And when you go in the backyard, you go up the mountain a little bit. There was a hole with like a wooden door on like literally on the side of the mountain, which they would burn people's cremains. It was like you open the big wooden door, and on the inside, it's like it's like metal on the inside of the door, like iron going down, and then it's like all slate and stone room with like a shit for a smokestack. It was probably hasn't been operational in hundreds of years, but
Jesus Christ.
that was weird. And then my dad's sister lived in that house for quite some time, and she was always complain like, but she was a little crazy, so we didn't know how much was embellished and how much was real. But she would say that she would hear voices, and forks and knives would jump out of drawers. That's never been confirmed, so I don't want to say that's what really happened because the source wasn't very trustworthy. But everybody who stayed in the house had said so. I never felt anything. I spent a lot of time in that house, never got any weird vibes from that. And then also being from Long Island, the Amityville Horror House.
Yes, you mentioned this.
That I actually like. There's no hate in that relationship. I always loved that house. When I was in high school, one of my teachers, my computer teacher, owned a like DJ company, and saw that like I don't remember exactly what he hired me for. I guess just he saw I had some hustle in me, so he let me start doing a couple of jobs for his DJ company. But his house was directly across the street from the Amityville Horror House.
So cool.
So I would spend a lot of time there.
Staring at it.
Then a couple of years ago, me and Spencer actually got to do a photo shoot in front of the house. And when I say got to do a photo shoot, we saw that no cars were in the driveway. So we went on the property and took photos.
Get the fake blood, Derek. Let's go, 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 go.
Yep, that's exactly. Parked real far away, lurked in the shadows, like, okay, nobody's here. Let's go.
Gosh, you guys just sound like...
Put on different t-shirts. Let's get some photos of these shirts.
Oh, wait, so this was for Cleaver then? This was like a photo shoot?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking cool. That is opportunistic as hell, and I love it. That's great.
Yeah, and another funny story about the house is, I could be totally botching the information, but today I told my wife I was doing this podcast, and she's like, yeah, my aunt was actually allegedly supposed to go to the house for a sleepover because she knew the children. Yeah, and clearly ended up not going, but thought that was kind of serendipitous as well.
Yeah, my God. No, so yeah, like I actually did a little bit of research on Long Island and the paranormal there. And you are from one spooky town, Derek. I must say, there was a lot going on there. So I wrote a couple notes. There was the Lakeview Cemetery.
Do you got Kings Park or one of the psych wards on there?
Yeah.
South Oaks?
Yeah.
I have files from there. It's abandoned. When I was a teenager, I broke into there. Not that I'm condoning it. If you're listening on this podcast, don't go into abandoned buildings because there's homeless people that live in there. But I stole files about escaped patients and sexual assault between like staff and patients.
Holy shit.
Some real messed up stuff.
God damn. They just wait. So like, okay, I never understand when they decide like, you know what, let's like, it's not for me anymore, let's shut this place down? Do they not think to fucking like, out no, take their shit with them? Because it seems like in all of these urbex things, they just left their shit everywhere. Like there was one that they did also here. Like there was this abandoned hospital not too far from here actually, and people go in there every year, and it's literally like left in state. There's just tables with scalpels. It's just everything is right there. Like people just vanished overnight. But the fact that they left files there, that's pretty.
Well, we had to do some stuff to open up a steel file cabinet.
I mean, as you would.
Yeah.
If it's there.
But I'm pretty sure
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I still have all of those files at my mom's house in New York still.
Just leave them with her. Like, okay, mom, these might be haunted. I'm sorry.
Well, I just took all the craziest ones, like escape, and there were some paranormal case files, like staff member experienced this, patient did this, we lost this patient. So there's like all these kinds of reports, and I kind of just said, okay, this one's weird, I'm keeping it. This one's weird, I'm keeping it. Like I'm talking like a stack of files, like Jesus. Reams of paper thick.
Now that would be fun to look at. I would like to just like read each and every one of those. That sounds terrifying and amazing. Wow. I mean, again, I just can't believe that they would have just left that behind. I mean, like, is there a reason why that place shut down? I don't know if you know much about the history of it or anything when it shut down.
So South Oaks specifically is still operational. They built a lot of new buildings, and I don't know if it was because they just like the buildings became derelict or like they lost funding, and then like I have no idea why, but like South Oaks is operational. There's another one called Kings Park, which I got locked in once and had to jump out of a second-story window. Yeah.
What?
I was a delinquent child.
Getting into a lot of places that you shouldn't have been. Fun places.
Right, I sold my soul to the devil for rock and roll and horror, and this is what happened.
I mean, you did say that you were a fan of Supernatural, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised with the Crossroad Demon being your best friend.
I wouldn't kiss Crowley though. I want to put that on the record.
No. That was just his personal touch, I like to think. God,
I still can't believe Bobby kissed Crowley, and Crowley
I know. there were some weird fan fictions that popped up about that. Let me tell you, that was back in the Tumblr days, and I was like, I don't want to be seeing that. Thank you.
Bobby was real quiet about it, and that's what raises suspicion.
Oh yeah. And then the little picture.
Hunters get lonely. Can you imagine a Supernatural Brokeback Mountain?
I mean, yes, I actually very much, because like, didn't at like the very end,
Rufus,
Bobby and Rufus. Oh, I mean, but like at the very end of Supernatural, they just had Castiel go, "Oh yeah, Dean, I love you. Bye bye now," and then just, like, okay, thank you.
My cat's name is Castiel. I named one of my, and actually both of my cats are Supernatural kitties. The other one's name is Lilith.
Oh, you know what? I've always loved the name. I love the name Lilith. I think it's a wonderful name.
So do I.
I think it's really, really pretty. I think it's nice. My mum was like, "You're not allowed to name your child Lilith," and I was like, "Why?" And apparently she was like,
demon.
I think yes, but apparently she's also like some kind of figure in like Jewish biblical history too, and I'm a terrible Jew. I don't know much about that, but she was like, "You're not allowed to name your baby Lilith." No, and I was like, "Fine," but I mean,
I'm sure Lilith did some messed up shit in the Old Testament.
I mean, but it was the Old Testament. Everyone was doing something weird back then, like sleeping with their cousins and stuff. It was a dark time for us all. Wait. So sorry. Did you say that your cat's name is Castiel or Catstiel?
No, Castiel. What? Just like the character.
Pun your cat. Catstiel.
I don't think the wife would have that. She has enough with my punny ways with the Cleaver stuff. There's certain things that we make that's not even allowed in the house.
She's like, "Get that shit out of my sight."
Yeah, especially like our O.J. Simpson stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, the evil fits like a glove. That was fun. That was.
We also have another one with him trying on Freddy Krueger's glove. Oh no, that's the one you're talking about. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah,
about the
yeah.
Lady Killer one.
Yes.
We have a
Oh,
shirt
yes.
of him running, and it says Lady Killer.
I love. I've got the Spencer one of that shirt. I do want to get the full set though. I want the Patrick Bateman one as well. Um,
I'll talk to my assistant Lizzie, and I'll make sure she sends you a package because we also got the Ted Bundy Lady Killer as
oh,
well.
that's fucking cool. Yeah, no, you guys have an insane range of stuff on there. So yeah, guys, if anyone has not heard of Cleaver, I don't know where you've been living. Clearly not in the real world. But Cleaver Clothing is at salem666.com. Um, I believe that's right. Yes, it is.
That
I'm
is
pretending
correct.
like I don't have that address memorized. Look at me.
We got lucky with that domain name. It's very easy to remember.
It's awesome. So cool. Wait, so yeah, like so it's based out of Massachusetts as well, just
So
to
we
add to the
started it in Massachusetts.
hmm.
We live in California now, but we keep like a PO box forwarding mail in Salem, and then it like stuff comes to California. But Cleaver was started in Salem in 2011. And at first, it was kind of just like us putting cleavers through celebrities' heads or just making messed up dead celebrity things, which was really bad. I mean,
It's fun. It's a bit of fun, you
yeah,
know.
but then you get older and go, maybe that was a little out of hand. And then we got banned from the city of Salem a couple of years ago for another. I really can't even talk about what shirt we did,
Oh God.
but there was a big. What I'll say is there was a big misunderstanding with exactly what was said on the shirt, and we got
Um,
accused of the shirt saying something that it didn't say. And then somebody went to a town board meeting and basically treated us like it was modern day
witch
witches.
hunting. I was gonna
Yeah, they were witch
say.
hunting
I
us,
was
which
gonna
is the
say.
irony. And the town had a board meeting to ban us. So we were our clothes were in retail stores. We get ripped out of retail stores, and then we normally do pop up shops in Salem every October.
Mm.
Um, Town says you can't do it. So then we ended up making a fake company, a fake website, resubmitting to do pop up. We made a fake shoe company called Tortured Souls, and then we showed up as Cleaver.
Tortured souls, but
Yeah. The city was not happy about that. And then the year prior to that, we were banned for a couple of years. And then the year prior to that, we literally made like a rickshaw cart where we had like wire shelves that you'd put in a closet in a shopping cart, and we stuck our OJ Simpson shirt and our most popular shirts on, and we were walking around the streets selling shirts to get back at them. And then this past year, they they tell us we're allowed to sell again, and then all of a sudden they bring police and town executives to shut us down. So they really do treat us
they
like
just set you
witches.
up. That's some bullshit.
So we're gonna get back at them somehow in a respectful way, obviously,
You'll
but
find your ways.
I
I'm
think it
sure.
might be something in the vein of opening a all year round store that they can't do anything about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like the best thing about the law is that there's always a loophole. There's always a loophole, which they tend to forget about. So I'm sure if you do enough digging, you'll find a way. There's always a way. I believe in you guys. You guys seem to have
We have a
stuck through a
great
lot of
legal
crap.
team as well.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, wait. So you met Spencer in high school then. So then you both went to
Yeah, because
school together. Yeah.
I was a concert promoter in high
Mm,
school
yeah. Oh
because that
yeah.
was going to be my way of getting my band connected. So it was like I was in like I was a teenager playing crappy music. You're just trying to play music with
Mhm.
anybody that will play with you. But I was like, okay, so how do I meet contacts of people that are actually doing it? Oh, I'm gonna book shows. So I started emailing all of my favorite bands, booking agents, and then I was doing that for about a year before I got to book Ice Nine Kills. And I remember seeing Ice Nine Kills when I was like 15, 16. So I was like, oh shit, I remember this band on MySpace.
And
Oh, let
they've
me book
changed a
them.
lot since then.
And then, I started letting, I mean, this is like 2010, 2009 or 10, I'm
Mhm.
talking. So Ice Nine Kills was, I mean, they would stay at my mom's house
Aw.
when they would play in New York. So, I mean, we became really good friends. And then Ice Nine Kills invited me to be their merchandiser on tour and sell their merchandise. So I did that for a really long time. And I mean, and me and Spencer did Cleaver on top of it, and it also was, Spencer's definitely, I gotta say, a mentor of mine because, like, I've literally seen everything that guy's done from him playing in front of 12 people to now next week opening for Metallica.
Yeah, no, that's fucking
That's a
insane.
pretty wide range. Like, I remember there being less than a dozen people at shows and nobody caring, and
Hmm.
us sleeping in Walmart parking lots. And I remember not like, I remember we did one tour where I didn't get a chance to shower for 30 days. I was baby wiping in Walmart
Oh
bathrooms,
gosh.
putting baby powder in my hair because it was so greasy, and eating hot dogs on a barbecue in a Walmart parking lot. Like, that's where shit
Get
started.
him. Yeah. God, no, that, that
And
that must be
to
pretty incredible to like see, because that was like a 20 plus year grind of Ice Nine Kills,
Yeah.
like because they did not just come out of nowhere. Like I only got into them like a couple of years ago, really. And I
So did the
remember
world.
just,
That's when the
yeah,
world got into Ice Nine
it's,
Kills.
but it's crazy because I feel like they were always on the fringes. Like, because I was always a massive reader of um rock sound and metal hammer and things like that in the UK. And they were always a name that I'd heard, but I never, because again, I was a pretty gung-ho MCR fan slash, like I was very focused. I'm a very focused fan. Um, so I didn't really have much time in my brain for anything else at that point, sorry. But yeah, that must be pretty amazing for you to kind of like witness the whole thing firsthand. You're like an Ice Nine Kills sort of
I'm
spokesperson,
honestly very
the OG
grateful.
fan.
Yeah, I'm honestly very grateful. Spencer is my dearest friend in the whole entire world, and he deserves absolutely everything good happening right now. Because, like, you go from those really hard times and watching, them break through into the mainstream. I mean, not
It's
many
incredible.
bands ever, like, Falling Reverse hasn't, like, they've been on festivals with Metallica, but they never, like, I mean,
Opened.
oh yeah, they were never on a show with Metallica and
Mm,
one other band.
fucking
Um,
crazy.
but it didn't happen by accident. It happened because, for a really long time, for more than 10 years, the whole entire music industry didn't take Ice Nine Kills seriously.
Hmm.
And one by one, they built a fan base. They built an army. They built a cult.
Hmm.
And it got to a point, I would say probably 2017, 2018, it got to a point where the world can no longer ignore that Ice Nine Kills is a force to be reckoned with.
Amen. I agree. Like it's incredibly inspiring to see that growth, I think. And like you said, it's really rare. And it's also something which most bands, they give it like 6 years, maybe tops. And if things don't work out, they disband, try again with a different group. But I think, yeah, that's one thing which really stood out to me about them is the fact that like Spencer fucking worked for this shit. And it's and
He earned it. He
yeah,
he he really
fair and
did.
square.
I've never seen anybody in my life chase their dreams the way that Spencer has, and it's honestly
Mm,
very inspiring because,
yeah.
like, you pick up a lot of things through osmosis. So a lot of the things that I do running my band, I learned from Spencer, and it's like, just the fact, I'm so lucky that my best friend is in one of the popular band, but also at the same time, like, I would never try and leverage my friendship or my
Mm.
relationship with him to like get favors and tours. It's like, because I take a certain amount of pride in earning my
Oh yeah.
keep
Oh yeah.
as well.
You're a busy,
But
busy man, Derek. I mean, like, I
I
think
know,
no one
I
could ever
know.
accuse you of that. I do think it's a lovely and like very wholesome friendship and connection that you guys have. And I think that's super sweet. And it would be cool to see you guys on tour. I don't know, with Ink at some point. Who knows?
I know. I have gotten literally countless messages about, like, just from the newest song. They're like,
Yeah.
when are you gonna do
Oh, it's a
a song with
fantastic
Ice
song.
Nine Kills, or when is Ice
Fantastic.
Nine Kills gonna do a song with you? When are they bringing you out on tour? I am sure that time will come. There just because of our relationship. Like, I know if I said, "Hey, I really want this tour," like, I
Oh,
would have
you'd
to
have
shake
it.
some trees,
You'd have
but, like, I don't think
it.
it'd be a problem. But at the same time, I think their fans um, deserve a certain level of quality, in a performance and in songs. And I think that time will come when I'm confident that I can really entertain their fans to my highest ability.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that I do speak for like the majority of Ink fans, but Dead Things are also right up there. Like, I've loved
Well, thank you.
everything that you guys have done, honestly. And again, my mom isn't into like the heavier stuff, but she was listening. I think she listened to Straight to Hell like 12 times in a row yesterday. So
Holy crap!
you I honestly think that you guys have something super super special. So
Thank you.
yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. I mean, like, this has been an absolute joy to get to hang out with you like this.
Same
um
here.
like, no better reason to wake up at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
But
and you mentioned like Ice Nine Kills fans. I just want to say that I think with the recent success of Dead Things, I really do owe a lot, if not almost all of the credit to the Ice Nine Kills fans, because literally, like, I just started putting out, music videos and songs, and the Ice Nine Kills fans just said, "We like it, we support it," and then it's spreading like wildfire. So what I started doing was, the day we dropped the song, I was so I don't want to say shocked, but I was caught off guard by the amount of love and, like, literally hundreds of people that I just from my personal Instagram that I saw sharing it. So I started sending voice memos to every single person that shared it, just because I felt like I needed to let them know that I appreciated with a little bit um, more of a personal touch than just sending a message like that you type out. I wanted people to hear my voice and understand that, like, I really am grateful.
yeah, no. And again, like, it is with the greatest, since like, I think it is a sincere joy to get to see that from a band and to like see that organic growth. And because, yeah, like, you guys are super interactive with the fans, and I think, like we said earlier, that kind of fan and artist connection is so special and so important these days, especially with the pandemic kind of throwing a spanner in the works, in that sense, sorry. And yeah, I mean, I definitely, have always appreciated you guys being the interactive people that you are. And yeah.
It's our oxygen. It really is. It's like that to me. Like, other than playing spooky music that shocks most people, it's like what I get out of it is those interactions. Any person that has ever come up to me for a photo or wanted something signed, or it's like from time to time, like, you'll sign people's body parts and then see them again and be like, "Look what I got tattooed."
Dude, yeah, that's
And,
so
like, part of
cool.
me is like, "Oh, what would your parents say about this?" Because, like, I do think about, like, who the hell am, like, why would you want my signature tattooed on you?
That
But
must be
there's a
crazy
whole other
fun.
part where it's like I'm really flattered, and it's just nice to know that we're some type of outlet for a lot of people, and that is what forces me to keep pushing forward. And the amount of people that, like, buy our T-shirts or posters, like, people, there's a lot of people that buy anything we sell, and they're repeat customers, and it is is something I still haven't gotten used to, and I'm
Yeah.
just so appreciative of it, and I don't really know how to articulate that or put into words how thankful I am that people do that so often.
Yeah, no. Well, thank you. I think, like, that goes both ways. And I think, again, us, the fans, are super thankful for everything that you do. And again, cool fucking merch.
Thank
I
you.
think for me, my only issue is of course the glories of international shipping. I've had one too many packages go missing this
I'm going
year.
to talk to my assistant. We're going to send you something.
It's I mean,
it's going to be awesome.
Thank you very much. I'll be leaving Hong Kong soon, so I'll be on that repeat customer list, I'm sure. But thank you again so much, Derek. This has been really, really, really cool, really special. And I thought maybe you could just like tell people where they can talk to you, hear the band, just drop your socials and let them know.
So if you're interested in following me personally, you can follow me at Derek Dillon 666. That's DEREK. And if you're interested in my weird ass clothing that me and Spencer from Ice Nine Kills make, you go to Salem666.com. That's our website, or you go to @Cleaver Clothing, Cleaver with a K, clothing with a K. And to follow Dead Things, it's just @DeadThingsMusic or deadthingsmerch.com.
Great. Thank you so much again, Derek. And thank you guys. Thank you guys at home. Everybody, we'll see you next time. Stay spooky. Bye-bye.